Welcome to this week's episode of the Ramblin' Reynolds podcast, hosted by Jesse Reynolds and always joined by my lovely wife, Jillian.
Hello.
This week is our Halloween special.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not spooky though, y'all.
No, it's not really spooky at all.
That was one of the most stereotypical Southern things I've ever heard come out of my mouth. It's not spooky though, y'all.
Yeah.
Just a little fun fall, y'all.
Well, that was certainly rhyming.
Oh my gosh, have you not seen every single person's wreath in Louisiana says, Happy Fall, y'all?
No, probably. I guess I don't really care. I never paid attention.
I mean, I think it's cute. I'm not hating.
Yeah.
Okay. But we have candy to hand out to kids soon, so let's get going on our episode.
Okay. Well, to keep up with the local area, we're going to talk about the Piasa Bird, the legend of the Piasa Bird for the Halloween special.
Ooh.
And I don't know, I guess every now and then I'll, where the breaks are, I guess I'll insert so we went to Chautauqua for the pig roast, and that's what gave us inspiration for this episode. There was a reenactment of the Piasa Bird, and my brother-in-law, Jill's brother, was the Piasa Bird actor.
We're hoping to get those sounds off Jesse's phone, so if you hear some really great Piasa Birds later on in the episode, shout out to Dave Winters.
Yeah.
If we can't get it off your phone, maybe we can just call him and have him just scream into the mic.
Yeah. Maybe.
Anyways, should I start with the history of the Piasa Bird?
Sure.
Okay, so it's actually, this is probably like super racist that we're even doing this episode, honestly, because there is not a lot known about the Piasa Bird. The legend that is told was not actually from the Native Americans. It was written by presumably a white person. It was written by a non-native. So, but it's still a fun story, and it's obviously big local folklore here in the area, so we thought we'd share. But here's the actual history of the Piasa Bird. And I'm reading this off Wikipedia, but this is also just, this goes along with the folklore. Everyone who grows up here basically knows this too. Except the exact dates, I didn't know those. In 1673, Father Jacques Marquette, which the wonderful state park Pere Marquette is named after, saw the painting on a limestone bluff overlooking the Mississippi River while exploring the area. He recorded the following description. While skirting some rocks, which by their height and length inspired awe, we saw upon one of them two painted monsters, which at first made us afraid, and upon which the boldest savages dare not long rest their eyes. They are large as a calf. They have horns on their heads like those of a deer, a horrible look, red eyes, a beard like a tiger's, a face somewhat like a man's, a body covered with scales, and so long a tail that it winds all around the body, passing above the head and going back between the legs, ending in a fish's tail. Red, green, and black are the three colors composing this picture. Moreover, these two monsters are so well painted. Okay, I'm not going to read that part. It's super racist. Basically saying, like, how could anyone have painted this? It's too good. And also, but there is an important part where he says it's a really hard place to reach. So you would have had to put a lot of effort into getting to the limestone bluffs. And I don't know if you can hear our our own Piasa Bird screaming in the background. That is Ryford.
Kind of looks like one.
The French cartographer Jean-Baptiste Louis Franquelin, I don't know how to pronounce that, compiled a map called the Mississippi in about the year 1682 from Louis Joliet's description of his 1973 journey with Father Marquette. A creature similar to the underwater panther, which is what Joliet, called the painting of the Piasa Bird. is pictured on the map east of the Missouri River and south of the Illinois River, so about where Alton is. As in Marquette's description, the animal is wingless with no resemblance to a bird. Since then, we have added bird wings to Piasa, and the word Piasa is from a native language that means
Go.
the bird that devours men, and that's in the Illini language. So we'll get to the legend that rose up around it, but one thing I did want to note is that the paintings were basically destroyed, I think, by the 1800s, because there was one of the other French explorers know that there was a tradition of the Native American people in the area firing their weapons upon the image whenever they passed by it. So that was a part I'd never heard growing up. So I thought that was interesting, that perhaps some kind of symbolism there in terms of firing their weapon.
Oh.
And also in doing a little bit of research, it's possible that it is related to Cahokia, which, if you don't know anything about Cahokia, fascinating story. It was the largest settlement east of the Mississippi, and at its height, it had a larger population than London. It was just absolutely massive, and there's still a lot of mystery as to why the population at Cahokia vanished. Archaeologists are still trying to figure out what caused the downfall of Cahokia. So highly encourage y'all to do some research on that. Check it out. If you're in the area, just going and climbing Monk's Mound is amazing. That's the largest mound, but they have a lot of symbolism and a lot of paintings and carvings in limestone around the area that's similar time frame to the Piasa bird.
Mm-hmm.
And now we present the legend of the Piasa bird, the bird that devours men.
The Piasa bird is a local legend in the Alton area. Its foundings go back to the 1673 when Father Jacques Marquette, in recording his famous journey down the Mississippi River with Louise Joliet, described the Piasa as a bird-like monster painted high on the bluffs along the Mississippi River, where the city of Alton, Illinois now stands. According to the diary, the Piasa was as large as a calf, with horns like a deer, red eyes, a beard like a tiger's, a face like a man, the body covered with green, red, and black scales, and a tail so long it passed around the body, over the head, and between the legs. The creature was given its name by the Illini Indians, the Piasa meaning a bird that devours men. There are many legends regarding its origin. One of the most popular accounts goes like this. Many moons ago, there existed a bird-like creature of such great size he could easily carry off a full-grown deer in his talons. His taste, however, was for human flesh. Hundreds of warriors attempted to destroy the Piasa but failed. Whole villages was destroyed, and fear spread throughout the Illini tribe. Utoga, a chief whose fame extended even beyond the Great Lakes, separated himself from his tribe, fasted in solitude for the space of a whole moon, and prayed to the Great Spirit to protect his people from the Piasa. On the last night of his feast, the Great Spirit appeared to Utoga in a dream and directed him to select 20 warriors and arm them each with a bow and poisoned arrow, and conceal them in a designated spot. Another warrior was to stand in an open view as a victim for the Piasa. When the chief awoke in the morning, he told the tribe of his dream. The warriors were quickly selected and placed in ambush. Utoga offered himself as the victim, placing himself in open view. He soon saw the Piasa perched on the bluff, eyeing his prey. Utoga began to chant the death song of a warrior. The Piasa took to the air and swooped down upon the chief. The Piasa had just reached his victim when every bow was sprung and every arrow sent sailing into the body of the beast. The Piasa uttered a fearful scream that echoed down the river and died. Watoga was safe and the tribe saved. Okay, well, I hope you all enjoy this week's episode. I know it's a short one, but it's the Halloween special episode, and here's the Piasa Bird. I hope you enjoy.
And then suddenly, he came and swooped in.
Hope it makes your week better.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah. And once again, you can find the podcast on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, most platforms. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just make sure you follow the Ramblin' Runnels account on Instagram. And once again, thanks for listening. Bye.